Under COVID-19, airplanes' importance to the public and its commercial value. If you happen to have the experience stuck in a foreign country, not able to go back home because of COVID-19 and the subsequent effects of the pandemic, you would then realize how important transportation technologies are to the public. Because of the decreasing number of airlines and limited airplane tickets in China, many international students have no choice but to stay in countries like the United Kingdom and Australia, far away from home. Airplanes enable us to travel and explore the world in a short amount of time. Students, businessmen, artists, and so on rely on this technology to realize capital and cultural exchanges. They also have significant commercial value in a global market. China generated $1.5 trillion from the new commercial airplane demand. According to the Boeing 2022 Commercial Market Outlook for China, the sales of commercial airplanes are rapidly growing, while the fuel price is also rising and there have been great concerns about the damage airplanes can do to the environment. Therefore, there exists an urgent need to develop more fuel-efficient, environmental-friendly aircrafts. In fact, many sustainable aviation fuel companies have contributed to net zero flying, aiming at less emissions by using cleaner energy. But this is certainly not enough. Thus, today by discussing airplanes' distinctive value and their relationships with humans as well as the environment, we show how airplanes have already permeated into our life globally and including the planet that we are living in, and how they evolve throughout time to tackle the problems mentioned above.
The history and evolution of the airplane. The first stage of human perception of flight was bionic, imitating birds. The earliest treatise on the principles of bird flight was On the Flight of Birds, written by Leonardo da Vinci, and is seen as the founding work of aviation science. The invention of the airplane has gone through 3 generations of inventors. The first generation of inventor was the father of aerodynamics, George Cayley of England. He pointed out that flying machines should not simply imitate flight movement of birds, but should achieve lift and power respectively, which pointed out the direction for the invention of airplane. The second generation of airplane inventors is represented by Otto Lilienthal of Germany, who was the first person in the world to realize self-powered gliding flight. The third generation of aircraft inventors was Wright brothers. In 1902, the Wright brothers achieved flight steering control, which was an important milestone in the history of flight. After that, they concentrated on making self-powered airplanes, and in December 1903, they successfully test-flown the Flyer 1 on the west coast of the United States, and from then on, humans entered the era of airplanes. With the outbreak of World War I, the use of planes was mainly for reconnaissance, bombing, and ground attack. After the war, there was a dramatic shift in aviation, with many airplanes used for commercial or private purposes, and a large number of retired military airplanes put into civilian service. In 1996, Concorde flew from London to New York in about 2 hours, created a record for the fastest flight. However, in recent years, airplanes haven't broken through in speed, not due to technical limitations, but the need to balance several dimensions such as economic cost, the comfort, the safety, and the life of plane.
How airplane has changed people's mobility. From around the world in 80 days to 20,000 leagues under the sea, human has always dreamed of taking an adventure beyond their own sphere of life and exploring the world freely. Indeed, it is the technology that turns these fantasies into reality. Today, modern transportation systems, supported by landmark technologies such as airplanes, trains, and cruise ships, have greatly improved human mobility. That is, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, the ability to move easily. In particular, airplanes have made a huge difference in the way people travel and perceive travel, allowing wingless humans to fly in the air to travel across geographical boundaries within a short time. Airplanes have extended humans' intention and ability to move by relieving people of their geographical constraints. And such increased mobility augmented by airplanes is not only spatial but also temporal, since what airplane has improved are both the range of human movement and the efficiency with which we can travel. Free from the hardship of putting in one's own effort and the congestion of land traffic, we can arrive at another continent 10,000 kilometers across the ocean simply by taking a 12-hour flight. Our dependency on air travel has grown to such an extent that we don't even measure or perceive our mobility in terms of distance anymore, but in terms of flight time. However, such reliance does come at a price. Just think of the risk of accidents and cumbersome checking procedures, not to mention the hassle of delayed or cancelled flights.
Major environmental influences. Global airplane transportation influences the environment in many ways. First, greenhouse gas emission has become a serious problem. For instance, the average one-way flight from Hong Kong International Airport to Beijing Capital International Airport will produce 362.2 kg carbon dioxide per passenger. Actually, if the aviation industry were a country, it would place 6th in emissions between Japan and Germany. Second, the operation of airplanes produces engine, mechanical, and aerodynamic noise, which leads to noise pollution. To the human body, elevated noise levels can create stress, increase workplace accident rate, and stimulate aggression and other antisocial behaviors. According to related research, airport noise has been linked to high blood pressure and the risk of heart attacks. Besides, airports are mostly located in places with little human activity, where birds and other wild animals usually live. In fact, aircraft noise might cause serious problems to the local ecosystem. The huge infrastructures such as airports and runways might create geographic boundaries and intrude on local ecosystems in a negative way, lifting the temperature of the surrounding environment and affecting the reproduction rate and the health of local animals. Actually, it is hard to imagine how much influence an airport might bring on the local environment. For example, the construction of Shangri-La Airport has brought commercialization to this remote mountain village, as well as hundreds of thousands of tourists per year. Every year, new hotels would be constructed and new trails are exploited. Thus, airports have profound influence on people and the environment.